Hey guys, so this is kind of a video to explain everything that comes in your puppy pack, or like your gift bag. So it will come in a Nutrisource bag with, your toys, your blanket that smells like mom, all your information, like all your papers and stuff will be in this little folder. This is the dog food we use. They do send us these, which is really nice. Inside they got coupons, a spot for, vet records, stuff like that. If you haven't already bought food, it is kind of expensive. They do eat a lot less though, and we love this food. But there are coupons. You can find it at Menards. You can go to their website and type in your area code to find where to buy the food at. If you prefer not to, you can go ahead and just mix the food half and half with whatever you're going to feed them, just so they don't get diarrhea. When they do go home, it is very stressful. I mean, they're away from their mom, their siblings, their environment. Everything is new to them. So, you should expect, some do, some don't. Some get diarrhea. Some won't eat for a day. Usually I say 24 hours is okay, but unless you have a Shih Tzu, you force feed them to eat at least every couple hours. Their blood sugar can get really low. Kind of cockers, and that's with any breed. I would say to make them eat something every couple hours. With your medium to large breeds, I say offer it to them, just so that way. A lot of people have kids, and the kids kind of are playing with the dog, and they just kind of deplete all that energy, and they're not kind of getting that back in their bodies. For the Shih Tzus and kind of small breed puppies, I do say, and it is in our kind of contract in your papers, please, obviously I'm not a vet, but if your puppy's lethargic, give them sugar, anything, syrup, lick your fingers, stick it in syrup or sugar and rub it on their gums. If they don't pop out of it within, 10 minutes, if they don't start kind of feeling better, perking up, I do say try it one more time. If they're still not, then rush them into the vet. Vets are great, but like I said, I'm not a vet, and I'm not talking badly on vets, but this has happened multiple times. Vets will run all these tests on these puppies, and by that time it's too late, and it's usually their blood sugar. A lot of vets don't catch that. Some do, some don't. I shouldn't say most, but I would say to definitely tell your vet you want the blood sugar checked first. That way it saves time, for one. Secondly, you're not going to have a humongous vet bill with all these tests that they're running, when more than likely it's just their blood sugars. They've just been playing, or they're scared, they're too nervous to eat, things like that. So I suggest to check their blood sugar first before you kind of do anything. Usually they're dehydrated. It's same with water too. They get dehydrated really fast. The bigger breeds are a lot tougher. You don't really need to worry about that. I just say kind of offer it every couple hours. I wouldn't start to worry about them not eating until, probably the second day. Like I said, I'm not a vet. This is just kind of my experience. We have a lot of puppies all the time. So, just kind of, I don't know, the things I've been through, and it sucks. But, anyway, so back to this. This is your packet. Inside of here, there's a little spot here. They do give this to, I suggest everybody read this. They have a lot of information, different kinds of foods. It's just, our puppies look so much better than what they used to. Their fur, their gums, their teeth, just their overall weight. They're not too fat. They're not too skinny. They seem to have more energy. I love this food. I wish I could feed this to my adults. It's just way too expensive. So we do feed the adult. It's the same company that makes it. It's called Tuffy's Gold, and they have different varieties of that too. So it is from the same company. I love them because it's made in America. Their plant is really clean. They stand behind their food. There's only certain vendors that they use because they stand by their food. They've pulled their dog food from a lot of different vendors that were tampering with, the packaging and stuff like that. So, and you can get on their website and read all about it too. There's like Amazon is not supposed to sell it. Petco. There's just, I think Pet Flow. I don't know. There's all kinds of places. But there is a list of approved vendors on their website. So if you're buying it from somewhere that's not listed on there, if say your puppy gets sick or something like that, they cannot guarantee it because it's not an approved vendor that's buying their food, and they can really get in trouble for that. So inside of here, you will have your microchip stuff. So the puppy's going to be implanted. So like this is what the microchip looks like. It's an awfully big needle, so I try not to do it till they're a little bit older. It is just kind of like a shot. The microchip's itty bitty, and then it just kind of, it's right underneath the skin. I do it between their shoulder blades. It can move, so, and vets know that. Vets and anybody in the dog industry knows that it can, sometimes you find them in their feet and their legs. It can just travel. It's just kind of one of those things you never know. So it comes with all these extra stickers down here that you can give to your vet, give to whoever you want to know your microchip number. So the actual number is this bottom number. I don't really know what all this stuff is up here. But that is the actual number. And then they did start sending this to put on your collar too. That has the chip number. And then this is kind of like your information kind of thing to register it. So they are implanted. You'll need to register it. I love this. I wish we had this when we did all of our adult dogs because it cost us a fortune to microchip them all. I love it because it's $24. It's lifetime. You don't have to keep renewing it and pay more money. So I love it. It's, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles as, like AKC Reunite where, so it doesn't have like GPS tracking and stuff like that, but it is really easy. Most cops and, animal control people have a chip reader. So if your dog is lost, they'll go ahead and look for a chip, and then so they go back and they'll punch it in their computer, and then your information will come up. If for some reason you don't get them switched into your name, it takes them a while to track us down because we were the ones who bought the case of microchips. So since it takes longer, that dog is sitting, in quarantine for so many days at the pound. It's sitting, waiting to be found by an owner. And then after it's there for so many days and nobody claims the dog, it does go to like a shelter, and then it has to quarantine there for so many days, and then it'll be adopted out. So it's a very long process, and I can imagine it's probably pretty scary for the puppy. It's like going to a new home all over again, but going, just kind of bouncing around. And then if somebody does adopt it, it's a new home again for them to adjust. And it's just really stressful on them. I know if it was me, I'd be stressed out too. And then you have the communication barrier too. So, for a dog, it's pretty scary for them. So I do suggest, $24 is nothing. I suggest you do it. It's helped a lot of people. So all that will be in your folder. And then as far as paperwork goes, so I get a verbal on the contract whenever I talk to you guys through Facebook or our website or text or however we contact each other. Now, I did get a program too where I can put that contract in our program and it generates a document for when that dog goes home, which I love it, but it kind of sucks because then I can't kind of get the signature right away, but it's fine because I'll see you guys at pickup. So this is kind of one of our documents, and it does have, oh gosh, sorry, I have bad eyes. It has our information here. It'll have the customer information, the pet information. It'll have the medical record down here, except for the vet visit. I have a separate sheet for the medical record. And then this is our contract already printed on there. And then, so I will and I'll make 2 copies of this. So you have a copy and I have a copy. And then I'll sign it and you'll sign it. And you can sign yours if you want. I don't care. I just need a signed signature for mine. And then I'll sign yours. So that's kind of your, I guess, main record. I don't even know what you call it. Customer pet record. I don't know. And then, oh gosh, I didn't grab, oh yes I do. Yes I do. So the dogs that just went yesterday, yes, so this doesn't have anybody's information on it. So this will be what you take to your vet. This has everything I've done with the dates and stuff like that. And then down at the bottom is where our vet, because I'll just take this to him and he goes ahead and looks over the puppy. And if he finds anything wrong or whatever, he'll go ahead and write it here. So you'll take this with you to the vet. That way they don't try to revaccinate. I'm not against vaccinations, but I'm definitely against puppies full of vaccinations. I know some vets, they'll start as early as 3 weeks old, just pumping them with vaccinations. And to me, I'm not into that. I don't think it's healthy. Vaccinations are great. I'm definitely not anti-vaccination, but to me, that's a little young. And it is one of those, vets and people have their own opinion on it. To me, the mother's milk is enough, to kind of protect that puppy. And I don't start my shots until they're 7 weeks old. So, unfortunately, that kind of leaves you guys with finishing, the series of shots. But to me, it's just they're just too little. I'm not going to vaccinate them at 3 weeks old. There's no way. We do have a lot of dogs, but we're not a commercial size kennel, by any means. So to me, I've never had a problem so far. I guess if that does happen in the future, I'd be willing to look into it. But as right now, we don't have an issue, so I'm not gonna give them something that I don't think's necessary. And again too, medicine's come a long way, but on the other hand, I know back when I was younger, we lived in the country, our dogs didn't have vaccinations, and they were all fine. I understand things are a lot different. I know worms are bad now. A lot of dogs are getting immune to medicines, and so things change and you just kind of got to go with the flow, whatever's kind of happening at the time. And while we're on the subject of worms, they are wormed every 2, 4, 6, and 8 weeks. Sometimes they spit it out. I try my best. I mix it with honey. I have to use the liquid, and I've tasted it myself. It tastes like lotion. It's not very good. So I mix it with raw honey, which raw honey is good for them. I don't know. I probably drizzle raw honey on their food, maybe once a week. I think it's good for them. Plus our trainer has bees. So I get nice, raw, fresh honey from her. So, so I will send home, if I have it. Sometimes I don't have the little packets that you sprinkle over their food. If you do see worms, it's not going to hurt them to go ahead and treat them again. Sometimes they'll poop worms and they'll be dead, which is good. That means it's working. Sometimes they don't poop worms at all, which is good. That means it worked. If they are pooping live wiggly worms, and I know it's disgusting, I'm used to it, but a lot of people aren't. But I mean, I still want to puke sometimes when I see it. So if you do see them, it's not going to hurt them to worm them again. It's cheap. You can buy it at Dollar General. Any feed store usually has it. Sorry, the kitty's going to the bathroom in here. Usually any kind of feed store, vet vax, most places have it. You can even, use the cattle kind, the, kind for pigs. You just have to dose it down to their weight. So other than that, worms are gross, but they will survive. It's not that big of a deal. Since we have gotten our USDA license, there's more paperwork, of course. So we have this fancy sheet that we now have to fill out for our federal license or our USDA. And it's just pretty much, they just want to know where our dogs are going. They keep track of all that. And it's for the most part, it's to catch unlicensed. If they notice that a name is buying all these dogs and they aren't paying for a license and getting inspected, they get mad and they check into that real quick. So you will get a copy of this. There's 3 copies. I get one, the USDA gets one, and you get one. Unfortunately, you get the very last one, which never shows up that great. But so this is what it'll look like all filled out. It'll have the microchip number, the sex, a description of the dog, my info, your info, when it was sold, it was a sale. And then down here, it asks, if they left in the customer's vehicle or if it was shipped, whatever, which we don't ship. So I'll just fill all that out, and I'll just need a signature on it, and you'll get a copy of that. And then I think that's pretty much it. I'm sure I forgot a million things, but for the most part, that's it. On papers, like registration papers. So I used to get them and nobody would really register their dog, so I was kind of wasting my money ordering the registration papers. If you do want to have registration papers, that's totally fine. I just do it on a request basis now. I was just spending a lot of money and I was just getting a stacks of these papers and nobody wanted them, so I quit wasting my money on it. I can always go back and type it in and request those papers, so it's not a big deal. We do ask that after spay and neuter is done, just send us proof, a picture, whatever, of proof that that's been done. I'm okay with a picture. I hate to say it, but some people just, they're just not very truthful. So unfortunately, I kind of have to be a stickler on things and make sure, the birthday is correct and the breed is, just stupid little things that I have to check for to make sure that that's actually the dog. You'd be amazed what, the links people go to. And it keeps puppy mill people away from us. I only trust maybe 3 other breeders. We've seen a lot of horrible places. Not that we're fancy by any means, but we definitely don't want our puppies at a puppy mill. And we've been fooled before, and back before we even had a contract. And that kind of keeps those kind of people away. Because once they find out there's a no breeding contract and it's binding, that's usually enough to deter them away, and then they just move along to somebody else. So that is why we have the contract. We're not sticklers about it. I don't believe it makes you a bad puppy parent if you don't have a fenced yard or anything like that. Our main issues are the rehoming, which we've been through poor times. Lights being turned off. We've been, where we've had to move. So I understand that things happen. People lose jobs. People have to move, or just life happens in general. So if you can't find anybody that you trust to love that dog like you would, then we will always take it back. Just let us know. it'd be nice if, if you are far away, if we could figure something out. But for the most, we'll definitely take the dog back, and we'll either find it a home or help you find it a home. We'll go out of our way to try to help. We do ask, though, that if you do find it a home, that we have their information and they have our information in case they need us, in case they have to rehome the dog, whatever. If there's a health issue, we want to know about it. We are here for the lifetime of the dog, so we want them to know that, and we want to be there for them too. If you guys have any questions, let us know. We're an open book. We're pretty honest. We things aren't always rainbows and butterflies, and some people think it's just puppy kisses all day, and it's a lot of work, but we are as honest as we can, and it's not always the right answer that people want to hear, or but we do just kind of tell you how it is. It's hard sometimes to rehome a pet, but we understand, it happens. But we are here to help you as much as possible, no matter the age. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's pretty much it. And then, just feel free if you have any questions. And I know I ramble. So if you guys have any questions that I didn't answer, just text us or, message us on our page. It's no big deal. They will have like little tags around their neck, like with your information and stuff like that, like an ID tag that has, your name and your phone number, whether it's a male, female, things like that. So it's no big deal. You can just cut it off. That's just kind of for us to keep track of them. And, if I'm pretty good at telling the difference between the two, or not the two, but between the dogs, so if for some reason, Aaron's here and he doesn't know, that's kind of for him or anybody else. And it just makes it quick, because we do sometimes get a lot of puppies, and that's a lot of puppy parents, and that's a lot of faces and names to remember, and what puppy goes with who. So it does help. I know sometimes my brain goes crazy, so it does help me a lot too, to just kind of be like, oh, okay, this is, Gifford's puppy, whatever. So there's that. You can just cut that off. It's no big deal. A lot of people ask about collar size. Even on the bigger breeds, I do say kind of buy an extra small, or like a cat collar works great for the little puppies. But some of the smaller ones, even the cat collar is too small. So you might have to wait on that. We do have a trainer too. If you guys have any issues, we do have a great trainer. She'll give you guys a discount because it's one of our puppies. I do say, just in general, expose your dog to everything. It'll make a much better adult dog. Loud noises, other animals, crowds, strangers, babies, elderly, just anything that you can think of. Put them in different situations, even if they're uncomfortable. They have to learn. It's kind of like a baby. They have to learn how to comfort themselves and cope with things and figure things out. Sometimes, like one time I had somebody here and I had a puppy stick its head through the fence, and it kind of like got a little stuck, and they were like, oh my gosh, are you going to go help that puppy? And it's like, if they really can't get out, yes, obviously I'm going to sit here and wait and make sure that they can get out. I'm not going to leave them there, but they do need to figure out that stuff, because if that happens at nighttime, I'm not going to be out there. I won't know its head stuck, or, so a lot of people cause anxiety in dogs from the beginning because they treat them like humans. Not that you can't love them and baby them and things like that, but I do tell people, remember, they are a dog. They are very simple-minded. It's not always black and white, but do your research. And again, not all vets are great. Not all trainers are great. Not all breeders are great. Not all people are great. You just kind of have to go with your gut feeling, and it will. I've done this enough to know that that's one reason too why I like having people over so much. I know if you guys have been here, all our adult dogs are, very socialized. They're all, none of them are mean. They're used to people coming over. They're used to different types of people, kids, grown-ups. I mean, different races. They're used to just different people. They're used to crowds. They're used to loud noises. I can have the 4th of July here. My dogs are fine. Nobody's having an anxiety attack except the big black one. He's a big baby. But, he was kind of a rescue somewhat. But that's the only one. I just really expose them so they're not scared all the time, so that they know how to self-soothe themselves. Crates are great. I personally don't use crates, but a lot of people do. If used correctly, it's their safe space. I know there's back and forth on whether you put them in the crate to punish them or not. I'm not a dog trainer. I'll have to ask Carrie about it. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to put them in there for punishment. I don't know. I'll have to check. Don't take my word for it. But, that is their safe place. Dogs do like having privacy. That in my mom's dog, it'll just go in its crate at nighttime with the door open. If it wants to hide, it'll go in its crate where it feels safe. It's just, crates are great. You don't have to lock them in there, even if you keep the door open. They are kind of like babies as puppies. Like my mom told me when I had my kids, although I don't have the heart. I'm a big sissy. Like my mom said, hey, when the baby cries, they need to know how to self-soothe. And if they cry, you're going to come pick them up and love them. And I said, so it's kind of like with dogs. They know if they cry and bark and make a big ruckus, you're going to come in and you're going to say, oh, it's okay. Please don't cry, and they know they're going to get that attention. So you're actually rewarding them for the bad behavior. Treats work great at potty training. They'll do anything for a treat. We do say, don't punish them. When you rub their nose in it, when you smack them, they just tend to hide it from you. We've had that happen before. We get adult dogs all the time, that have issues, and, what they do is they don't want to disappoint you, so they go and hide it. They hide it under your bed, behind your couch, and then you have the smell and you're looking, and then you find it all. So, treats, they'll do anything. Sometimes they'll pretend to pee for treats too, so you need to watch out for that. I had a Shih Tzu that would hike his leg and then come to the door and be like, oh, I'm ready for a treat, and I knew he didn't pee. And then he got smart, and then he'd go around the house and then run back to the back door wanting a treat, and I'm like, I know you didn't pee. So they'll do anything for a treat, but you do have to watch them. Other than that, I can't think of anything. I'm sure I did forget something, but it'll be fine. They're gonna be freaked out for a few days. Other pets too, give it time. It is totally normal for your pet you have now to pin them down and kind of show them who's boss. That is totally normal. It's a pecking order with dogs. That's their house. You brought a new baby in, and that baby needs to know where its place is. So I would say give it, a few weeks. Obviously don't let your other animal kill the puppy, but, it is normal for them to pin it down and, show them who's boss. And that puppy will learn, it'll learn respect. It'll learn to keep its distance. And hopefully it all works out. If it doesn't, please call us and let us know. But I do say, give it a few weeks. Every dog's different. They're kind of like people. Some take longer to adjust and some don't. So just, I would say give it time. And if it doesn't get better with another pet, just let us know, if we need to figure something out. So other than that, I appreciate you guys so much, and I love pictures, so please send me pictures. I love them. We get a lot of people who ask, oh, what do they look like when they get older? And I only have kind of some of the same pictures. So new pictures are always great. All right. Thank you guys. Bye.